Hello. You may not remember me from videos you've never watched, but I'm Matt, and in this video, we're going to be talking about how to get better at off-road riding.
Oh man, you ride a motorcycle? You must be so cool.
I used to race hare scrambles when I was younger. I've owned many dual sports and a couple adventure bikes over the years, but it's been 5 years since I last rode an adventure bike. So I'm out here trying to learn how to ride again. Think about that job that you used to have where, of course, you were the expert and everyone always asked you to do their job for you. And you knew everything about that job, inside and out. And then what happened? You moved on to another job. 2 years later, you can't remember how to do the TPS reports at your last job, and you were an expert. So here I am today, out riding the trails in Jefferson National Forest, trying to learn how to corner better, how to brake better, and just how to ride better. So let's go. So as I mentioned, I need to learn how to corner in the gravel better because I've kind of lost my confidence, and that's one of the worst things to lose when you're riding gravel, because gravel corners can be so much fun if you know how to hit the corner. So the thing I'm going to be focusing on today is when I go into the corner, I'm going to weight my outside peg and I'm going to shift my weight over the top of the bike more to the outside rather than leaning inside like a normal street bike. I'm going to lean outside and counter steer, and as I counter steer, I'm going to put pressure through my outside peg, and while I'm doing that, I'm trying to keep my knees gripped into the tank to give me positive control of the bike while keeping a fairly loose grip on the handlebars. So let's try to give this a little bit of a go at some higher pace. We're not going to blow the doors off anything because I don't want to yeet myself off the side of this mountain with no one to know where I am. So for now, we're just going to give it a try. So let's go. Another thing that I need to practice is braking. And when you're braking off-road, you don't want to brake exactly like you do on-road, because if I brake right now and I grab a whole lot of front, brake right now, my ABS is going nuts. And I got all my weight forward. My legs are all the way up here, my crotch is on the tank. When I'm cornering and I have to put the brakes on, or even when I'm going straight and I have to put the brakes on, I do not want to have all my weight forward. I want to have my weight back so that I can control my braking a little bit more. And we don't want to stab the brakes. We want to grab the brake a little bit and just ease the pressure on. So looking down, I don't want to have my hips way up here. I want to have my hips further back, as far back as I can get for now. And we're going to practice some emergency stopping. So let's go around this corner. Go around this corner. Oh, nice long corner. All right, let's try an emergency stop. Put my weight back. Float my butt off the top of the seat as I do that. You don't want to sit down because if you hit something, you could buck your butt up and it could throw you. So try to bend with your knees a little bit. Keep that ability to absorb any craziness the suspension might throw at you. and pulling your clutch. So we're going to lean back. There we go, not too bad. So here we go, another straight line. We're gonna brake, weight back, brake. Pretty good. All right, felt good. All right, we're not learning to wheelie today. I'm not that good at it. Let me set you guys off over here on this rock and let's practice some braking. And you guys can critique me in the comments. I'm happy to have it done because it's the only way I'm going to get better. So I'm going to come down here and I'm going to brake right here in this spot. I'm going to shift my weight back, pull in the clutch, ease on the front, and stab the back. And we're going to just see what that goes. So I lost the tripod for this somehow in that short time I was talking to you, and I can't find it. So I've got you propped up on a rock. I'm going to be stopping right in here, and you guys can kind of judge what I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong. Like I said, feel free to critique me in the comments. I love the critiques because I need to get better. I don't mind being told I'm doing something dumb. So let's try to keep this thing closed. This is not exactly what this is made for, but so far I don't think I've lost anything too valuable. All right, here we go, second gear, weight back. All right, let's go again. Let's see if I can stop right in front of the camera this time. Weight back. Ah, I was too scared. Not good enough. Up on the pegs. Clutch in, weight back. Oh. I gotta trust that front brake more. I need to trust the front brake more. It's ABS, and it's actually not too bad off-road for being ABS. I just need to let that thing do its thing, stab the rear, get my weight back to push that rear into the ground a little bit and to give me more control. And I gotta remember to squeeze the sides of the tank. So let's try again. Up on the pegs. Whew. It's not too bad. I'm feeling okay with it. It's gonna take some more practice. Let's move on to the next thing. So I think that lack of squeezing the tank is kind of what was getting me sideways a bit more than I wanted to be. But I could be wrong. All right, let's do an emergency brake. Ready? I'm still not giving it as much front brake as I should. We're gonna stab. We're not gonna stab. We're gonna put the front brakes on harder this time. Here we go. That was better. All right, we like that. Alright, good test of what we're trying to do here. Weight the outside peg, counter steer in. Big rock. Whoa, muddy. Weight the outside peg. A little bit of front brake, trail brake in, front gas on. Alright, coming in, trail braking a little bit, weight the outside peg. Get ready to grab the, whoa, muddy, muddy, muddy. Need to be in a higher, need to be in a lower gear. Trail brake, lower gear. A little bit of fish. Oh, I got my weight too far forward on that. All right, braking. All right. Well, I think we're getting a little bit better with some practice and thinking about it a little bit. Whew, this bike is so much fun. I do not need 83 horsepower out of a middleweight. This is the perfect amount of power for me right now. Alright, off camber downhill. Weighting the peg. Oh, almost got her. Alright. Shifting sides. Shifting back. The bike feels so much more stable just using these simple off-road principles that I've been reading about, remembering from when I was racing. But boy, I wasn't the best racer, but I had a lot of fun when I was a kid. You guys remember those Travis Pastrana videos that they would put out on commercials that would teach you how to ride your bike in certain conditions? And it would teach you like how to go through hard packed dirt in a flat corner. And I remember learning that, weighting the peg thing, you know, and I've heard it many other times from many other people, and it's crazy the difference it makes. There we go, steering with the power on the rear a little bit. Let's back it into this corner. Power out. That was good. It feels like so many things to think about when you're just getting back to it. Like weight the outside peg, downshift, rear brake, slide it around, hit the power. Think about keeping your eyes up, slide. Weight the outside peg on the right. Weight the left. Rear brake, power. Emergency stop. Because one thing we got to remember as adventure riders, and it's easy to forget when you're having fun, there are cars that could be coming around any of these corners, and I haven't been that responsible, to be honest. I'm just now realizing what I'm doing. Stay to the right. Make sure that you're seeing through the corner before you're hitting the power. Make sure you got a way to exit and stop, because you don't want a yard sale, especially out here by yourself. That's on me. I gotta think about that. I softened the suspension up for the road, and I need to dial it back in for off-road. A little bit too soft. So we've already covered a few things that kind of get my basics of adventure riding back, which is weighting the proper peg through a corner. That would be the outside peg. Shifting my body weight to counteract the weight of the bike. Keeping the pressure more straight up and down through the contact patch of the bike rather than to the outside, so it has less lateral forces and more vertical forces to have better traction. Use of the rear brake to help steer around corners, and using the throttle to then kind of power through those corners. That's not something that's like necessarily good or bad or whatever, but it's fun, so I'm going to do that one. And then the other one is clutch control. I have not practiced a whole lot of clutch control with this bike. The clutch seems to engage further out in the lever feel. That's something I can play with my adjustable levers, but I need to get better with my clutch control and my foot positioning. Now, most of the time when I'm riding, I have my feet more or less right on the arches of the boot on the pegs right here. So the middle of my arch is on that peg. But when I'm doing more aggressive riding and I'm doing a little bit less shifting, but I know I need to be prepared to soak up more of the impacts of the bike, I need to be more on the balls of my feet. I need to be here because I have more control and I have more suspension in my own body to help absorb rougher terrain. And the other thing I need to practice, and I don't seem to see anything here that I could practice with, is I need to be able to go over obstacles. I need to be able to shift my weight back. I need to give throttle and get the front wheel lightened to go over humps in the road or to go over logs and things like that. And just practicing that over and over and over again. I think what we're going to do for the next video is I'm going to go to kind of an off-road open area and we're going to set up some obstacles and some training, and I'm going to run myself through that a little bit. One of the big reasons that I want to get better at adventure riding is, one, safety. The better I am off-road riding, the safer I'm going to be. And then the second thing is I'm going to Ecuador in just about 1 month, and I'll be doing a lot of gravel riding, and I'll be in a country that I'm not familiar with and on a bike I'm not familiar with. So understanding these basics now and being able to apply them is going to make me safer in a foreign country. So I'm looking forward to practicing with the bike. She still doesn't have a name yet, so if you have a good name suggestion, drop it in the comments. I've got some crash bars coming for it. Those have already shown up at the dealer. I just need to go pick them up on Tuesday so that when I do eventually drop this thing, it's going to happen, I'll have something to protect these plastics. I did install a heavier skid plate, and at least for now, that's a nice peace of mind for if I hit any big boulders and things like that. Bunch more projects coming along. And as you can see, I have my rally seat here, which I got just yesterday, and it makes a huge difference off-road already. I can tell the way that I feel when I press against the bike. The sit to stand is a little bit closer, so I don't have as far to go. And I feel like when I do sit down, I'm in a more controlling and commanding position. It's not as comfortable. I know that's controversial because some people think that the stock seat is really uncomfortable, and I would say that the rally seat is more uncomfortable than the stock seat. And I can say that because I did do 3 hours of just sitting in the saddle today riding some paved roads, so I know that this seat is actually pretty soft, and soft doesn't always mean comfortable for long distance rides. My seat on my Kawasaki Concourse is pretty stiff, and it is extremely comfortable to ride on for hours at a time. So a little bit of a trade-off there, but I'm more than happy to make it. One, it looks a lot better. That doesn't mean anything for off-roading, right? But it just looks more like an adventure bike. And secondly, it's more functional for what an adventure bike needs to do. But I have been out on the bike all day, and I really got to get home because I have a lot of things to get ready for. It's the Sunday scaries today. We got to go back to work, and I know I'm going to be dreaming about today for the next 5 days. Well, that is going to do it for this video. If you do have any comments about my riding and some things and tips and tricks that you've learned over the years that really have helped you in your off-road riding and your skills, let me know. Like I said, I haven't been riding adventure riding for 4 to 5 years, something like that. It's been a long time, and it's coming back to me, but not as quick as it probably could. So I will take any help that I can. That being said, for all you negative Nellies out there that have already figured out how to ride these adventure bikes, don't be mean about your comments. There could be some other people in here that have the same questions I have, and let's be a community, not something that tears people down, okay? So I'll see you in the next one, and have a good day.